quick share that'll help kind of guide us into the meditation. I believe that as a collective, our consciousness as a collective in this human earth walk, that we have a purpose to transmute, to transform, to heal. And service, as you all know, as I know most of you, being of service is one of the greatest gifts that we can have in this world. And in the idea of transformation, in the spirit of transmuting, I believe that we are all alchemists. We are all here, and we willingly chose to be in this body because we knew there was going to be stress. We knew there was going to be anxiety. We knew that it was going to be painful. And our job as a collective is to take all of that gunk, if you will, and transmute it back into unconditional love, knowing that unconditional love is going to dissolve all of our pain. It's going to dissolve the separation, and it's going to dissolve the anger, anything that you're feeling. So with that being said, I want to drop us into our heart space. And if you will, if you can, I know some of you are driving. If you're not driving, or if you're driving, just do this as best you can, follow along. But if you can get your feet on the floor, great. Get your feet connected to the ground and then bring your palms together. And as you start to bring your palms together, I want you to create a little bit of energy, some prana. Good. As you rub your hands together, go ahead and now close the eyes and then sit up tall. Keep rubbing the hands together and then big inhale through the nose. And then audible exhale through the mouth. Let it go. Again, inhale nose. Audible exhale mouth. Let's go 3 more like that. Inhale nose. Audible exhale. 2 more. Last one. Now slowly just pull the palms apart and keep the hands in this creation mudra right in front of your heart space. Continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Notice the energy in the fingertips and the palms. Be with the vibration. Feel all of the sensations traveling through the fingertips. And keeping in mind that we're just here to simply observe, not getting attached to any some thought or feeling, but just now is the time to be with your body and be with your breath. Each inhale, I want you to invite in that unconditional love. And every exhale, feel it release. With every inhale, keep inviting in that inspiring, loving intention into your heart space. Feel it travel up into the crown of the head. And then every exhale, feel it release from the crown of the head down into the heart. Going even deeper into the body, inhaling, feeling the unconditional love pull up from Mother Earth into your feet, through the spinal column, all the way through the heart, up into the crown of the head. And then exhale, feel it release from the crown of the head, back into the heart, down through the feet, into Mother Earth. Continuing this energetic breath, inviting in unconditional love from Mother Earth through your body, out into Father Sky. And if you will, envision this brilliant light, cleansing, healing, releasing. So every inhale as you breathe in, you're inviting in that unconditional love. And every exhale, you can feel that brilliant light of unconditional love, cleansing unwanted energy, releasing the stress. And it's pushing it out from the feet back into Mother Earth so her crystal core can recharge that energy and shoot it back up with unconditional light and love into your heart. Slowly, just bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your low belly. And take these last few moments, breathing in, breathing out, inviting in that unconditional love with the inhale, and feeling the unwanted energy release on the exhale. Knowing that you are now aligned with your highest truth. In these few moments, invite in pure happiness. Take a moment of pure gratitude and know that you are connected and grounded to Mother Earth. Slowly, when you're ready, just bring both hands now at the prayer position, keeping the eyes closed, and then dig your thumbs into your chest and take a moment to breathe into that heart center. Feel the beating heart. Know that as long as it beats, you live, and this is your birthright. Take a moment of pure compassion for the heart space and invite in that unconditional love with a big inhale. And exhale, let it go. Knowing the divine light in me shines and acknowledges the divine light in you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Nick. That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much for all you guys for showing up today, and hope you feel grounded now. So the theme around this masterclass, Mastermind, is around transformation. And I think we all have gone through our own personal transformations. And I think part of the journey is like healing ourselves and then showing up and sharing and being of service and sharing the light with everybody else. So I'm just going to call on each one of you, and you guys got my email. 2 minutes, rapid fire, just kind of like a golden nugget, something that you're processing, you worked through, something you learned that you want to share with everybody. And the first one up is Jared. Jared, what is your share you wanted to share with everybody?
What's up, everybody? I'm Jared. Yes, so it really is an honor and a privilege to be here. And one of the things that I wanted to share just briefly, I wanted to kind of take you back into a little bit of a story where I come from generations of physical, emotional, and mental abuse. Both of my grandparents on both sides of my family had all of that physical, mental, emotional abuse. They therefore passed that on to their children, to my parents. So my parents had a very unique and extreme upbringing of being a really young person, being a child, and having dealt with abuse and not knowing as a young child that this isn't right or healthy or productive, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the things I wanted to share with you guys, giving you a bit of context, is that as I grew up and my siblings grew up, I was so fortunate that my parents didn't do to me and my siblings what was done to them and what was done to them before. So there's a ton of gratitude flowing through me because I wasn't physically, emotionally, or mentally abused. That was a huge wall for my parents to block. But the thing that I do want to highlight is that even though there wasn't that sort of treatment from my family as I was growing up, there was an unbelievable amount of scarcity and fear, and because of the way that generations were raised before myself. And so therefore, even though my parents gave us a lot of love and they did their best, I didn't understand fully that I was being programmed to just believe that there wasn't enough, I wasn't good enough, I didn't know who I was, I had a lot of self-identity crisis, the list goes on and on and on and on. So I think that the main point I wanted to share with regard to transformation today is that growing up the way that I did, and by no means did I have some sort of a crazy oppressive upbringing. It was a lot of doubt, a lot of self-doubt, and a lot of confusion. And with regard to transformation, I myself had to go through my own journey of depression, alcoholism, and again, major self-identity crisis. I was too light-skinned for my Black friends. I wasn't Hispanic enough for my Hispanic friends. I didn't really belong. I was just sort of floating in limbo, not knowing who I was. I was too dark for my buddies on the baseball team. I was disinterested in school. And so what really did it for me was I had a mentor. I was fortunate enough to get some really great advice. And one of these pieces of advice really changed the game for me. And ultimately, it came down to what I had learned was Confucius said that he who says he can and he who says he can't are usually right. And I had to learn at a young age that it was me. I was the one blocking, stopping, creating complication, layers. And that was a point for me where I had to start looking in the mirror. And in essence, for the first time in my life, I realized that I was in the driver's seat and I had power. And with transformation, as we all pretty much agree that it is this trajectory, this long journey that never really seems to end, I keep coming back to that. I keep coming back to this idea that I have the power, I assume the responsibility, and this life I'm going to choose to create as much as I can with as much transparency and value and love as possible on a daily basis. And I could keep going and keep going and keep going and talk for the next half an hour. But I just maybe wanted to leave you all with those small words. Is that each day I recognize that it truly is an opportunity. It is a gift. And as it is a gift, as an opportunity, I would encourage each of you more so, myself included, to continue to assume responsibility for everything that you do, for your thoughts, for your actions, for those around you. And as you assume responsibility, you maintain as much power as possible. And that power is going to help you to continue to create the ultimate, most beautiful life where you're able to really give and contribute on a daily basis. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you, Jared. That was so beautiful. We're going to move things along. And you guys, the intention is for all of you guys to connect, to collaborate, to connect with each other. So I will send a separate email with the Facebook group, Instagram, all of that. Next up, we have Deanna. If you guys feel called, feel free to reach out. Our goal is to partner and work together and serve together. So Deanna, how are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm great. Hi, everyone. I'm Deanna. Thank you, Charles, for the wonderful opportunity to be here. Transformation is probably one of my favorite things to speak and touch on. Transformation is definitely something that doesn't happen once and then you're done. If you really think about it, we've been transforming since we were in our mother's wombs. We started out as this egg, and then under the right conditions, it grew into this fetus, and then the fetus became this newborn, the newborn became this toddler, the toddler became this child, the child became a teenager. So transformation is changing forms. That's literally what it translates to. So there's never a moment that we are not changing forms. There's never a moment where a part of us, whether it's emotional, spiritual, mental, social, physical, isn't changing. And I was thinking about this, and I went through some of my journals and jotted down 8 quotes that that came through from Spirit when I was at different points of transformation in my life, and I'm going to share it with you all. So the first one is, see yourself higher. See yourself higher and think about yourself higher. Most people are on what I consider the dance floor of their life, where all these different things are going on and they get caught up in the actual dance. But what's important, especially during transformation, is being in the swirl, being in the change, but knowing when to remove yourself from everything that's going on so that you can get a different perspective of what's happening. So if you feel like, oh my gosh, this just keeps happening in my life, from a higher perspective, you'll see, oh, that's strengthening this particular quality that I'm going to need in this next aspect of life. So my first tip is simply see yourself higher. Don't get so stuck on the dance floor that you don't go take a break on the balcony. Okay. The second one is you are worth your time and best effort. So often, especially when we're working, it's easy for us to give what we consider to be our best to other people, other causes, other projects and things like that. But just as much as we are intentional and diligent in being there and showing up for other people, we have to show up for ourselves in that same way. And when we show up for ourselves in that way, giving ourselves our best time and effort, we'll see that we're able to give that much more and give from a greater space to others. The third one, desire clearly and with intention. So desire is the emotion that sets all manifestation into being. People often say, think it, see it, say it, and that's true, but you have to feel it. And desire is a very strong emotion that will draw to you that which you are wanting to manifest in your life. So be very clear with your desires and your intentions. 4, nothing is ever lost and nothing is ever wasted. So when we think of transformation, it's like, oh, I'm giving up on something, I'm losing something. But when I tell you, you can take what has shifted for the time being and still apply that in this particular phase or stage of your life. So just know, and this also applies to death itself, which to me is the ultimate transformation. We're leaving, we're taking off these garments, which is what I call the body, and we're going on to the next adventure. So even in death, nothing is ever lost. It's just a change of form. So remember that. Nothing is ever lost and nothing is ever wasted. 5, refrain from judging the outcome based on the pain you feel and experience during the process. I think a lot of us get caught up in like, oh, this hurts. But just remember it's temporary. And a book that I like to recommend is called Hope for the Flowers by Trina Paulus. I think you all enjoy that. 6, question much and question often. 7, remember everything you do, no matter how grandiose or minuscule, creates a ripple that affects the whole. And lastly, I just want to encourage you to take up your space, rise in your fullness, shine like the sun, and always trust love. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. That was so beautiful.
You're welcome.
If you guys feel called, feel free to connect. Next, we have Michael. Where's Michael? Michael? There you are. All right. Michael, what is your share? Welcome.
Hey. First of all, thank you so much, Charles, for putting this together. This is amazing. So many beautiful people. Deanna, thank you so much for those amazing words. I guess what I want to talk about is reciprocity. It's something that has given me a lot of transformation in my life. I had a pretty almost stereotypical story of an entrepreneur that face planted in his early 30s, and I was hospitalized for some time. But my life was basically saved by a group of indigenous people in Peru. I drank a bunch of plant medicine, and I was healed over a couple of years living down there. And over time, it really became part of my identity, and it really helped me. A friend of mine started basically challenged me and kind of yelled at me and said, what are you doing to like help the people who helped you? And I just paused, and at first my ego was like, well, I'm talking about stuff. I kind of got defensive, and then it kind of occurred to me that actually I wasn't doing anything. And a lot of people here on this call where maybe something from their culture or something from nature or some group of people might have saved your life in some way or helped your life in some way. And the question I would ask you that was challenged to me what is that worth? What is that worth? And what have you given back? Like in nature really only sustains things that are reciprocal. And I think the example I use in plant medicine is, I don't know if you know the story of Maria Sabina. Maria Sabina is the Mayan woman credited with bringing psilocybin mushrooms to the West. Credited is the operative word here, because there was no reciprocity in the process. So a bunch of Westerners from Europe and France took her methodology, lied to her, cheated her out of a bunch of money, made a bunch of money in the 60s, and she died penniless. And this is something that's happening over and over again. This is a story we all know very well. This is, colonialism, this is extraction. We know this story, but it's continuing on. And there's people now practicing psilocybin-based therapy who are doing nothing to give back to the communities, indigenous communities in Mexico, for example. There are people practicing yoga who are doing nothing to help people in India. I mean, India right now is in a very difficult circumstance. And in plant medicine myself, I was doing nothing. I had my life so I wasn't doing anything. So after getting challenged, I decided, okay, you're right, I'm going to do something. So I started a company called the Grandfather Project, which is a clothing company, but it's really a plant medicine research reciprocity company disguised as a fashion company. So we make these hoodies. I'm wearing one now. They're made out of organic cotton, and the dye is made from Wachuma cactus, which is the cactus that saved me. And then all the proceeds go to the communities that help me out. Right now, COVID has ravaged the Sacred Valley. If you know the Sacred Valley, it's been really ravaged. And our funding goes to a number of communities there. And then we're also funding some research at Johns Hopkins to study the cactus and help integrate that into the West in the sort of right way. We have an Indigenous board of directors that helps us move money the way it's sort of in integrity with the community. And I just challenge you. I challenge you to see where in your life you've received. And it's important to receive. Like I needed to receive. I was a wreck. I was an absolute wreck. I couldn't even walk around a block. I was having panic attacks. I was a wreck. I wasn't in a position to give back. But now I am. I was healed. So I challenge you to look where you can give back. And so thanks to Teresa for checking me. And that's my share.
Thank you for sharing, Michael. That was beautiful. If you guys feel called, want to learn more about the Grandfather Project, feel free to reach out to Michael. We're going to move things along. Corrine has stopped by the side of the road to make an appearance, everybody. And what?
Hello. I'm hoping, okay, I just pulled over. I'm hoping, can you hear me? Is the reception okay? Okay, wonderful. I'm so happy because for a minute there, the first couple ones, they were just going in and out. First off, thank you so much for having me here. I love being in these, and I just always feel so cool afterwards and during. It's just wonderful. For me personally, something that has helped in healing and transformation to pick me up when, on a daily basis. So a little bit about me. I am an abuse survivor, a domestic violence survivor, and it not only starts with a relationship that I was in, but also my upbringing. It was although not physical, but very emotionally abusive, and so that was always very normalized to me. And now I'm learning all of these things about it, and with learning about your traumas comes relearning your traumas, re-experiencing your traumas, essentially. And so it takes a lot of work. It's been a lot of work for me to make it through each day. And so something other than my therapist, I love my therapist. She's incredible. She's literally a godsend. Something that has really helped me personally when I'm feeling really needing to pick myself up, right? Because we can't always have somebody there, as much as we have such community, right? We all have so many people around us to pick us up, right? But sometimes they're not there. So it's very important for us to have these practices where we are able to self-sustain. So something for me that has really helped lately, I don't know where I saw it or who said it, but basically like being okay with just half-assing life, like showing up half-assing it. And because at that point, by the point that you show up, you're already fully committed, right? Majority of the time, it's very daunting to to feel like, oh, I have to show up, I have to give it my all, like, oh my God, all or nothing mentality, you know? And it's like, okay, sometimes we end up choosing nothing because that all is so daunting. So I've adapted this half-ass lifestyle lately, and it has brought so much, oh my gosh, just, I took that deep breath right now because that's how it feels. Every time that I'm like, okay, I'll half-ass it. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. I'm gonna do it all the way because I know I'm here, I'm doing it, and I know I'm able to, and I'm okay, right? And so that has been really beautiful. Something completely new to me. The way that I was raised, it was like you do it and you do it perfectly, you give it your all, right? So yes, I'm half-assing it and I'm loving it.
I love it. Thank you for sharing, Corrine, and thank you for showing up, because I think that's kind of one of the key things of, like, even if it's uncomfortable, showing up, choosing to showing up is really powerful. Next, we're going to head to Betsy.
Perfect. Well, speaking of half-assing it, I have to go. So
yes.
Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Hi, Betsy.
Hi, guys. Thank you, Charles, so much for creating this space with all of these beautiful people. I feel so honored to be here in this container with you right now. My story is I was, speak on, like, what Corrine was talking about, having, I came from this energy of, and also Jared, of scarcity. My parents were worried. I was a perfectionist growing up with the mentality of always having to, if I didn't make it happen, it wouldn't happen. The world was on my shoulders. I was a modeling agent for 12 years at huge modeling agencies. I was stressed, I was burnt out. I was numbing my exhaustion with alcohol and, just not really presently living my life. And I started to work with plant medicine and found a shaman from Colombia and had a spiritual awakening. And really, through that spiritual awakening, I was able to surrender and start working with this life, this energy, which is a combination of our life force energy and the energy that all is, the wisdom, the God, the source energy. And realizing that energy is with us all the time if we need to call on it, and we can co-create with that. We can surrender into that unconditional love energy. And the more we tap into that and just start feeling good and happy, magical things start to happen because you're able to co-create. The universe doesn't want you to have the whole world on your shoulders. It wants you to be happy. And so the moment you can let go, and for me, it was a lot of letting go, a lot of shedding everything that didn't feel aligned, didn't feel loving, didn't feel like was my soul's purpose. The more I courageously was able to shed that without having any sort of plan, but heading, baby steps in the direction of just what was the next thing that brought me joy, that brought me passion, that made me feel good. And the more I step into that, the more everything starts to align and abundance comes. And you don't have to work so hard. So that's something I wanted to share with you all. And I'm a Reiki practitioner. I have my Reiki master's and studied for like 7 years with a woman from Sedona, but it wasn't, that's where I grew up. It wasn't until I had this spiritual awakening that I was able to really understand what that energy truly is, and to harness that and to be able to use that whenever I need it, to connect with it whenever I need to listen, to ask the right questions, and to trust. And talking about reciprocity, the person who helped me, Taita Cesar, I was honored he asked me for help, and so willing to give it because he did change my life, that we were able to, during COVID, raise enough money to help his tribe and 600 families file an appeal to stop an irregular land transfer to a group tied to oil companies. And now through working with him and realizing that we really need to help protect, this other world, because the bridging of the two worlds is really going to help heal the world. I'm starting a nonprofit called Two Worlds, One Planet, and we're having a fundraiser next Saturday to help raise money for the tribe. So get in touch with me if you want to be involved. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here, for showing up.
Thank you, Betsy. That was beautiful. If you guys feel called and resonates, feel free to reach out to Betsy. Next, we have Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan. What is your share?
Hello. All right. First and foremost, yes, Charles, thank you for setting up this container. It's beautiful to see all your faces, especially in the middle of the day when we still have the morning, but also the afternoon to go, knowing that we've been in this space. For me, I just wanted to share something that I've been working through, and I just wanted to share my understanding around purpose, right? Because I think especially in today's realm of transformation, there's always this question of, okay, cool, I'm doing the work, but I don't really know what my purpose is. Like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life, even though I'm doing the work? And what I wanted to share with you all is how I've been able to cultivate a different relationship with the word purpose and also what it means to live out our purpose. And I think it will also align with some of what you've already been hearing from other folks as well, especially on the topic of transformation. So my belief now is our main or deepest purpose here on this planet is to transform, to evolve, to grow, to deepen. And if you really pay attention to humanity, this is the reason why everyone has this craving to be better, to grow, to develop. So when you really pay attention to that at our core as human beings, that is what we're here to do. Now, okay, I played with that and said, all right, so I'm here to do the work. I'm here to become a better human. I'm here to contribute to a larger scale, to the greater intelligence. Great. So if I'm doing that, then what do I actually do with the physical form of my life? And I just want to say that what I've come to know and understand now is that life is really our playground, meaning that if we are evolving and actually deepening every day and growing, life is here to give you what you want it to be. So for me, it's been, wow, okay, I actually can go deeper and discovering what is it that I want to do, what do I enjoy, what do I like doing, and knowing that I have the power to go and do those things. Now, the work around that is also removing the things in your life that are not aligned to the things that you want to be doing, right? So the things that interest you. So for example, for me, I've developed now a deeper desire to go and coach people one-on-one, but I have a full-time gig that I'm working. So it's up to me to have the courage to actually give back in the best way that I could and actually say, okay, I'm going to have to shift from this full-time gig and actually go and live out what I truly feel I need to give during this lifetime, right? And that's really helping people on one-on-one. So a lot of the work also is being able to get the courage and support to actually feel empowered to make the moves that are more in alignment with what you're here to create. And the other thing is just inviting you to feel empowered to know that whatever it is that you want to create in your life, that you have the power to do that, but you also have to take responsibility for doing it and getting the support that you need. The other thing here that I'll say is really an invitation to pay attention to the moments that you feel inspired to do something, because those are the hints from spirit, God, universe, whatever it is for you, that are tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, here's a hint, this is what you should be doing. For me, I remember being in front of people like this and I just felt alive. And those are just the hints that are hinting at what are the way that you're meant to serve and the way that you're meant to use your body mind during this lifetime. So all to say, just by you being here, for anyone listening, you're already on the journey living out your deepest purpose by transforming. And I invite you to figure out what your gifts are and go play in the playground that is life, because the universe is here to provide and give to you in abundance. You can reach out to me. I serve as an empowerment coach to others. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. Next up, we have Zara. Zara, there you are.
Hi.
So good to see your face.
So good to see you guys. And I just want to have my gratitude for this group. I'm so grateful to be here. Love everything. I'm taking notes. I was like sitting with my coffee, chilling. I said, no, this is serious. And I'm taking notes and I'm so honored. And Charles, thank you for creating this group. You are a blessing. I love you so much. And you know that. So we're not going to waste time talking about it. It's not a waste, but we need to move. So talking about 8 things, for me, what has been really important is consciousness, being here right now, because my mind is traveling constantly. And I have severe anxiety as a therapist, as a coach, as a mom, as a grandma, as a wife, everything. Anxiety has been part of my life. So for me, I have to learn every day how to calm down in order to give my best to my clients and my loved ones. So I'm going to go through my 8 list. 1 is consciousness, breathing, and then engagement. Engagement with myself first and with whoever universe brings to me, and then encouragement to myself and to whoever is around me, and then empowerment, empowering myself that I could do, if I could do this, I could do everything else, and trying to transfer that to others and making a choice. Like I have a choice to be a mess, or I have a choice to go for a quick walk and come back, or I have a choice to journal, or I have a choice to just breathe and do the meditation, or I have a choice to just listen to something soothing. And faith, for me, faith is very important, praying. And I'm going to come back to one of the most important one, which is unconditional love for myself and for everybody else, because I think love is a beautiful, contagious energy that we are so busy giving and doing and performing and all of that outside, that we are like a maxed out credit card. We are like a car that has so much mileage on that we cannot even move. But when we are performing, we are just performing and we live in an autopilot. So unconditional love for me creates that ripple effect, that domino effect, that I'm able to give my best to every encounter that I have. That's all I want to say. And I love you all. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Zara. That was so beautiful. I love the unconditional love. Next up, we have Umair. Hi, Umair. What is your share?
Hey, all. So one of the moments in my life that was truly transformational for me was when I learned about oneness, when I was going through my energy healing, pranic energy oneness university in Bali. And I have a quick exercise for you guys all, really quick. So, and this is what taught to me, and this is when a light bulb went off in my head. So think, move your arm. Everyone just move your arm up and down. All right. Who is moving this arm? Right? Who's doing that? Is your arm doing it? No. It is the I am, it is the soul, it is your being of consciousness. Right? Now, think a happy thought. Okay? Now think a surprising thought. Sorry. Feel happy. Sorry, let's feel happy, and then feel surprised, right? Who is the one doing this feelings, right? It's once again, it is the I am, it is the soul, it is your being of consciousness, it is a being of light. Now think a thought. It could be any thought. You achieving well, you achieving abundance, you going home from work. Think another thought. Once again, who is thinking these thoughts? It is the soul, it is the I am, it is the being of pure consciousness. So when I went through that exercise, everything just clicked for me. I was like, oh my God, I am it. I am source, I am consciousness. So anytime I get wrapped up in my head, whether it's emotions of anxiety or fear or lack, I come back to, nope, I am not my thoughts. You know, I am not my feelings. I'm not even my body. I am a being of pure consciousness and light. And this allows me to have a oneness perspective when I talk to clients, friends, individuals, and allows me to just be and learn how to be happy, so I can make myself happy, right, through gratitude, or help myself become abundant through various things. So that was what was super impactful for me in my life, and I hope you guys took away something from the exercise right there.
I love that. That was such a beautiful exercise, like a nice reset, Umair. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Skylar. If you guys feel called, feel free to reach out. Again, connect among each other. I love to see collaborations. It's so magical. All right, Skylar, what is your share?
Thank you, Charles. I would love to share something I've been thinking about lately about transformation, which is so everything around us that we see, that we experience, and who we are in some way is a reflection of ourselves. And so everything that you see is reflected in you, whether that's something that you feel good about or not so great about. And so that means that everything that you allow into your field is something that you've done just that with. You've allowed it into your space. So with that, we're constantly transforming. So I think sometimes we can feel transformation is this big, really scary thing. And of course it can be. It's that huge leap that we have to take. But in every moment, we're transforming into someone new. You take a new breath and you're a completely new person than you were the moment before. And so if you're familiar with I forget the exact name of it, but kind of the scale of all human emotion, and up at the top we have like peace and bliss, and then it gets a little bit lower with happiness, gratitude, and whatnot, and then you have neutral. It starts to go down into things like sadness, anger, and it gets all the way down at shame. And if you envision that as a spiral, that spiral is either going down, and it gets the lowest when you're feeling your shame and you're transforming into shame and you're holding that in your body. Or you can take that and recognize that, oh, I let this into my field, therefore I am the creator. And just like you were saying just now, Umair, I am. And so I am the creator, and I can uplift myself and see that divine in who I am to start spiraling back upward. So yeah, that's really the gist of it. And then being able to, once you do that, I think the other little key is just to see that you're not transforming into the person who's way over there. You're transforming centered within yourself and finding, like what Charles talks about, alignment. You're really finding that alignment, that aligned transformation, and finding embodied consciousness for you to be who you are, and just express that so positively. And I think that is how we find transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Skylar. That was beautiful. It's so good to bring it back. Next up, we have Jamie. Thank you.
Thank you
Hi,
so
Jamie.
much.
Yeah.
Hi, Peter. Yeah, I feel like I've been in the process of transformation throughout my entire life. I'm also an abuse survivor. My father was incredibly abusive and an alcoholic, and I thought I survived that, and then went through a divorce. It was crushing. It was a 10-year relationship that lasted through my entire 20s. And then 5 years ago, I was the head of marketing for a management consulting firm based out here in LA. And 2 years of in and out of that, the stress just took a toll, and I got really, really sick. And was at a point where I was spending tens of thousands of dollars seeing doctors who all told me that I was normal. But I just plummeted into the depths of depression, and I had all these mysterious symptoms, and no one could tell me what was wrong. And then in a span of 1 week, I had 2 people come into my field and share with me about their transformation with plant medicine. And then 2 days later, I was on a flight to Costa Rica where I sat with plant medicine, and it saved my life. And not only did it save my life, it gave me a renewed sense of purpose that in everything that I do is to be in service. And everything that I do is to be a net positive contribution to this world. And this is the reason why I'm still here. So fast forward to the end of last year, I made a decision from the first time from my heart, not from my mind of a place of ROI or what societal metrics of success is. And I enrolled in a master's degree in psychology with a keen focus on psychedelic assisted therapy at the California Institute of Integral Studies based in San Francisco. And then fast forward to January 8th of this year, where I was having a conversation with my now co-founder, Matt Zeman, and everything aligned. He too was doing his master's degree in neuroscience and psychology at King's College, with also a keen focus on psychedelic assisted therapy. And the more and more we compared notes, the more we realized that we really wanted to just leverage all of our experience in business, nonprofit, government, startup, and be in service to this space. March 1st was our day one of our 8-week sprint to building a tech-enabled platform that connects those seeking information around legal psychedelic assisted therapy with options and connecting them to practitioners that could assist them. And we just wrapped up our 8 weeks. We launched our platform, psychable.com, on Bicycle Day on April 19th. And it's free to users, it's free to practitioners in the space, and practitioners also includes Reiki, energy, body, and all of the complementary services for those that are on this journey and doing the medicine. And we're building a community, and would love to invite the community to join us and spread the good word. And we have thousands of global listings now in our database, and really trying to provide meaningful innovation that really increases access to alternative wellness. And really at the core of our DNA is all around reciprocity and advocacy. And we want to support amazing nonprofits in the space and indigenous communities and generations of future healers. And we're currently partnering with a nonprofit right now called Heroic Hearts Project for what we call our Nature Heals campaign. And it's really an effort to destigmatize the use of psychedelics and plant medicine by inviting those that really has had a transformative experience to share their journeys and to help support this nonprofit, which is really providing access and treatment for veterans struggling with PTSD and sponsoring them to ayahuasca retreat centers. In addition to that, and I'll just wrap it up, is we have enlisted medical advisors, indigenous leaders, a legal team to really help ensure that we're compliant with federal and state laws and to really help navigate everyone through this space. So I will leave you with this. May I become at all times, both now and forever, a protector of those without protection, a guide for those who have lost their way, a ship for those with oceans to cross, a bridge for those with rivers to cross, a sanctuary for those in danger, a lamp for those without light, a place of refuge for those who lack shelter, and a servant to all in need for as long as space endures and for as long as living beings remain. Until then, may I too abide to dispel the misery of the world. Thank you.
Mic drop. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. That was so beautiful. If you guys feel called and you want to learn more, I just dropped a link. You guys feel free to put your Instagram handles in the chat box and you guys can all follow each other. Next up, we have Nathan. Hi, Nathan. What is your share?
Yo, everybody. I just want to take a second to, I want to do something real quick. I want you to find somebody who's on the screen and I want you to make eye contact with them. And when you make eye contact with them, I want you to smile, because I feel like we need to take a second and spread some joy in this smile, right? I'm all about connection, and I love seeing everybody smiling on the screen. And what I've been thinking about lately is how often I spend time in my head. Can you guys relate to spending time in your head, listening to that voice that's in your head? Often we think of it as the inner critic. And so I just want to share one exercise that I've done that has helped me transform when it comes to listening to the inner critic or shutting the inner critic up more aptly. And so what I want you to do right now, let's take a second and close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I want you to think about this inner voice. And I want you to think about what the inner voice sounds like. And not what is the inner voice saying to you, the words that it's using. What does it sound like? Does it sound like your own voice? Does it sound like the voice of a parent? Maybe it sounds like a coworker. I don't know, but what does that voice sound like? And how often do you let that voice stop you from doing the things that you know that you're meant to do? Now, we're We're gonna flip the script right now. Now I want you to think about this voice, but now when you hear this voice, it is not your voice. It is not whoever's voice came up in your mind as we did this. I want you to think of the most ridiculous voice that comes to your mind. When you think about this, there's no way you're going to listen to this voice. Could be Steve Buscemi's voice. It could be Goofy's voice. I don't know what the voice is for you, but you know what it is. And I want anytime that you come up to listening to that inner critic, I want you to take a second, switch the voice, and then ask yourself that question again. Is it gonna stop you if you're listening to Goofy? No, it's probably gonna sound a little ridiculous. And you'll be able to step out and actually do what you feel called to do. And that's all I want to share with you today.
Thank you, Nathan. That was beautiful. That's good. I'm curious what everyone's voice sounds like now.
So I'll share mine just since so when I think of my voice right now, it's like Keanu Reeves and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. All right, next up we have Yana. Yana, hi, what is your share? Let's be mindful of time because I want to make sure we get to everybody. Yana, what is your share?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing everything in this amazing space. I'm so inspired. My share, and I will make it quick, is the transformation through relationships. I was in a relationship with my, now husband for 6 years, and I was looking for love outside of me. And we were, in this codependent, consistently breaking up and just really unhealthy place. And it was an amazing journey because what it led me to is really, we separated, and what it led me to is really to find that relationship with self. And, I went into this really deep path of getting to know myself and building that relationship with self, and choosing for the rest of my life to really have a relationship be this opportunity for a conscious awakening, for transformation. And we ended up getting back together, and obviously, now we're married, we have 2 kids. And one of the decisions that I made that was probably, I would say, one of the biggest transformational moments for me, and now that I share this with others, is really how every relationship is this opportunity for us to grow, and this opportunity for us to evolve and to transform. And whether it's your relationship with your mother or your father or your abusive husband or whatever it is, what I really believe is it's always an opportunity to do that inner work and to transform and to heal, because like all of you said, we are here to constantly transform, and these people that come into our lives are there for a purpose, to help us transform, even though it might not seem like it, even though they're negative or whatever. Just take every person that's in your life and really use it for you as an opportunity to grow, to heal, to transform, and to keep coming back to that unconditional love. And that is it. I am complete.
Thank you, Yana. That was beautiful. You just reminded us that every relationship with other people is really our relationship with ourselves. And it just made me think about this quote, is that we can only love to the extent that we fully love ourselves. Mm-hmm. But next, I would like to bring up Jason. Jason, so good to see you, brother. What is your one share?
Hi, everybody. I've been writing lots of notes. You guys are awesome. So mine's pretty easy. So mine is just about, I'm a New Yorker, so always busy. So mine's finding that space in between the craziness to be able to find self-care for yourself. So there's 2 things that I do is, one, when I fail, Of course, you grieve that failure, but then you learn, think to yourself, and you say thank you for that failure, because it's a lesson that is going to get you to the next stepping stone of life, whatever that is. And there's a lesson in that. And it's also the universe telling you that that wasn't meant for you. So that's my first thing. And my second thank you is when I'm walking to work or I'm really crazy throughout the day, for every step I'll say thank you. So on my left foot thank, my right foot you. I look crazy, although it's New York City, so no one can see me because they're all not paying attention, but I like literally walk saying out loud, if you see me in Chelsea, going thank you, thank you. And it's like a quick mindful meditation that will really kind of keep you in the positive gratitude spirit, and also just bring you back to remembering, no matter what's going on, that things are going to be okay. And thank you, Charles, you're the best. And everybody else here is the best.
That's so good. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Next we have Chelsea. Chelsea, what is your quick share?
Yes. Hi. Thank you, Charles. Thanks for having me, and thanks for having me share. I just kind of want to quickly share a little bit of a story of my personal transformation, because it's still in process, and I believe it always will be. I think it's been my whole life. I don't come from a particularly abusive background, but my family kind of raised me harshly in a way. You know, I had to be perfect. And I grew up thinking that I needed to be perfect or I wasn't good enough. And I've found friends and boyfriends and, you know, all kinds of work situations that continued to drill that home. You know, if you're not perfect, you aren't a good person. And that was something that I've really struggled with. And when I looked in the mirror, I would dislike myself. And I also, it seems to be the theme of this, experienced some plant medicine, a few different forms of it. And most recently was just a few weeks ago. And at a moment, I looked in the mirror and said, why don't I love you? And something shifted inside, and I just started to feel who I really am again after that moment. And it was such a frustrating, confusing feeling that I know that I've had in my head the whole time, but I've never really said it out loud. And then as soon as I did it, something started to shift. And since then, you know, it's only been a few weeks, I'm still integrating, but I've started to slowly see how big of a difference things are going to, you know, going to be now that I am operating from this place of who I really am versus this judgmental outsider inside my body asking, why don't I love you? Or, you know, telling me that I had to be perfect. I hope that makes a lot of sense, but yeah, that was just one major shift in my own personal transformation. And, you know, I think in general, plant medicine has been the most profound thing that's helped me move into who I really am. And who I really am is really awesome. And I really love her. So, yeah.
Love that.
Operating from this space moving forward.
Yeah, thank you, Chelsea. That's such a beautiful share. And it reminds me of that quote, you know, our quality of life is based on the quality of questions we ask ourselves. And just taking that moment of acknowledgement, everyone, like looking at yourself in the mirror, in your eyes, when you can see your soul, your spirit. We're so kind to other people, but taking a moment just to be like, yeah, you're doing great. And something that came up to mind that I wanted to share is that our traumas are like a baby. It's sacred too. That we have to be gentle with ourselves. A lot of times we're so hard on ourselves, but the trauma came from some belief system. So it's like, be gentle and be kind to yourself. Next up, I want to bring up one last person before we end. Cindy, what would you like to share?
Hi, everybody. I wanted to share kind of what the theme has been for me. I am a mother of 3 young kids, and I've been kind of in and out of practicing meditation throughout my life. And I recently, I guess not so recently, but I've made it now an actual practice and a lifestyle. And my journey has been helping other moms navigate motherhood and have meditation as a tool to keep ourselves connected to our inner peace and just navigate the roller coaster that it can be. But things that come to me right now are based all around spaciousness and slowing the F down. And that was what really brought me down to my lowest point in my life, was just being a mom and working and just always having to go, go, go. And it was just one task after the other. And I just exhausted myself. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate, whether you're a mom or not. Even in this world of healing, you can be so passionate about wanting to get the word out and wanting to help other people. And it's easy for you to just forget that you need to take a moment and pause. And when you do this, it's unfortunate that society kind of like has built this idea around like you have to keep going and you have to keep moving because we are lacking time. There's not enough time. But I am currently working on just shifting that, and the slower life actually brings you more clarity and more focus. So that's kind of what I wanted to share, is just like take the moments in between the things that you do throughout your day to just take whatever is happening in, whether you're outside and you stop and you take in the beautiful surroundings, or you're engaging with somebody and you're actually like taking in something about them, or like an expression or emotion, really feeling the conversations, like what's happening now with all of your shares. So that's pretty much it. It's just like pausing and breathing. For me, I used to think that I didn't have a lot of those moments, but now I take every opportunity that I can throughout the day to not fill the little minutes with like checking my phone or whatever. Just sitting and stopping and breathing and feeling grateful or feeling whatever it is that I'm feeling. And it makes a world of a difference.
Thank you, Cindy. That's so beautiful. I feel like we all just took a little pause. And yes, reframing that idea of like feeling guilty or shameful for taking time for ourselves is so important. We have one more person. I want to respect everyone's time. If you have to leave, feel free to do so. But we have Joy. Where's Joy?
I'm here.
Raise your hand.
Oh, you don't see me?
Oh, I see you, girl.
Oh, okay.
By the way, Joy, speaking of transformations, but I'll let you share with everybody. What is your one share, Joy? Thank you.
I'll be quick because I know you're wrapping up. But I just wanted to share with everyone that, first of all, I am a recovering perfectionist. A Virgo, mind you, who's a recovering perfectionist, which is, wild to say the least. So for me, transformation comes in so many different ways. Deanna said it best, but for me, last year was really when transformation, I could actually see my transformation. And one of the things I really learned from last year is that how important community is and how important human connection is. And I know that a lot of times we get a lot of messaging out here where everything is about we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves, and it's me and I'm the one making this happen and I'm the one doing this, which is definitely true, but it is so important to make sure that you're surrounded by people and that you are having that human connection and that you're not just living through a social media world. You're actually picking up a phone and calling people. You're actually talking to someone. You're doing a video chat. You're doing something, because last year was definitely a point of time where we all realized just how important it is that we have people in our lives that care about us or that want to make sure that we're okay. And though, and a lot of people last year really struggled with that. So I'm just here to say that I really believe in community and in human connection, and I think that that is definitely what's going to move this world forward, and not have everyone so ego centric.
I love it. Joy, thank you for that reminder to bring us back. And this is the intention of what drew us all together. And I want to acknowledge each of you guys for taking time out of your Friday to step into community and to see how we can serve together. As we heal the world. So I acknowledge you, each and every one of you guys, and thank you for showing up. Sending you guys so much love. Have a beautiful weekend, and I will send you guys a follow-up email so you guys can connect among everyone, whoever you feel called. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you both.